Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast with me, AJ Smith, the Joy Weaver. I am stoked today because I got a message from someone asking if we could talk about what it means to tune in. And sometimes in this journey, as I teach things, I forget what I know or what people don't know. So I'm going to start kind of a mini series, maybe like once a month or something like that, that's within this podcast of kind of like 101s, like, hey, how do we tune it? How do you like listen to that nudge? How do you, so if you're like, hey, you've said this, but can you break this down like step one? So that's what we're doing today regarding tuning in. Um, I'm going to talk about tap roots as well. I made a taproot episode earlier in the podcast season, but we'll talk about it again here. This is for when you're overwhelmed or when you're like, hey, I'm trying to talk to spirit. Maybe you and I did it in a session once before. You're like, I'm trying to do it on my own and it just feels weird. So remember, what is everything? Everything is a practice, right? So with that in mind, where is your baseline? I want you to pause and think. If I told you right now, if we were sitting next to each other, which is how I kind of imagine these are, is like we're chatting. If I say, can you tune in for me? What comes up? Are you like, oh yeah, I got this. I know how to tune in. Are you like, AJ, I don't even know what that word means. Are you like, sort of, but can you guide me? Right? So when I say tune in, it's tuning in, not to all the noise, not to all the clutter, not to all the thoughts. It's tuning into the quiet river voice. It's that voice inside that's like, hi, hello. That was a big day, wasn't it? I'm so proud of you. Let's do the next right thing. If you remember, I think podcast episode 3 or 4, we talked about the inner critic and intuition to how to sort through the different voices, right? So that's really helpful for that because we did a clear thing on that. But when you tune in, we're kind of going past those voices to the quiet one. So that's the core here. Disclaimer, this looks different for different people depending on your faith, right? Perhaps you believe that God resides in your soul. Maybe you believe that Jesus is in your heart and you can talk to Jesus there. Maybe you believe that you can tune in and the goddess will find you. Maybe you believe it's just you and you're talking to your soul. Maybe you believe you can get still enough and then spirit is outside of you and you can tune in. Or it's almost like a mycelium of spirit and soul that you can tune into around you, right? And maybe you don't know what that is yet. That's okay too. This works for pagans, atheists, Christians, Buddhists, like anybody can tune in. This is about getting to that quiet spot for you. So if you want, you can also pause and think, what does that look like for me? What do I call the divine? What do I call spirit? And if you don't know, that's okay too, because this is something we're practicing or cultivating, we're tuning in. And maybe you're like, hey, I have this version of God in my head, but I don't know how to talk to God. I don't know how to talk to spirit. This is one way to do that. Okay. There's lots of different ways. There's writing, journaling, listening, and maybe you've heard of the clairs, right? Some people are clairaudient, some people can clear see, some people can clear smell, some people just have a knowing. For me, I'm clear like audient and like I see, and everybody's a little bit different. Again, something you can tune in. So just because you don't have it now doesn't mean it's not something that you can grow in. And I think it's really important if you're like, okay, AJ, come on, let's go. Because this can be such a sensitive topic where people feel you're either in or out. You either have it or you don't. You're either one of those people that are spiritual and connected or you're not. But that's not true. And who does that help? Who does that serve? That disconnection from you and your quiet knowing, right? So wherever you're at, maybe you're driving. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. But if you're in a place where you can, close your eyes. I like to always start us off, or you can keep your eyes open. I like to start us off with 3 big breaths with audible exhales. The reason we do this is because it gets your parasympathetic nervous system online. When you're sprinting, your body is in safety mode. When your breath is like, go, 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 I gotta go. You're in, we gotta go mode, not Hey, what's the next right step? Do you see the energetic difference with that? So let's take 3 big breaths, breathe in, and then you're going to sigh it out. Ah, and if you're like, oh, that feels so weird and so gross, that's your safety mechanic coming on of being like, oh, like, is it safe to like relax? Is it safe to let it out? Is it safe to, but it's just you and me here. So I'm doing it. You can do it with me too. So let's do 2 more. Breathe in. And if you want to like shake it out, you can shake it out too. You want to unclench your jaw, like stretch your jaw, like kind of you like yawn. And it's just like you even might feel like, oh, there's a little bit more body. There's a little bit more space in my body. Tuning in is about bringing more awareness to your body and your spirit and your energy. And even if you don't, you're like, I don't do that whole energy. I like you, AJ, but I don't know about the spirit and the essence and the energy. You know how you're really tense and tight before a test or a moment or a stressful situation? Your body's just like, ugh. That's what we're feeling into. So, where is your baseline right now? Kind of look over your body. And if you're like, I don't know how to look, kind of you can close your eyes or keep them open and bring your felt sense of just how does my body feel in this moment? And if you are a person with chronic illness, that can be a really loaded question. So you can also ask, how does my energetic body feel in this moment? And I want to put an invitation out there that everything is connected. So if your very physical body is very exhausted today because you used up all your spoons and then some, maybe we can do this exercise in the bed where your body feels a little bit more safer and comfortable. Does that make sense? Like we're not trying to push ourselves, we're trying to tune into ourselves. This is a space of letting in and expanding our awareness versus forcing. Okay. So kind of scan your body and see how you feel. Is there anything that feels tight? Maybe you feel like your back is like, oh, it's just tight back here. And if you're like, my body doesn't talk to me, AJ, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you feel any sensations, textures? Do you feel like any colors in your body? So I'm going to do this and I'm going to talk out loud. If you're on YouTube, you'll kind of see me gesturing to different parts of my body. I'll try to say it all out loud as well so you can follow along. Okay. So this is me tuning in. So I'm like, okay, how am I feeling at this moment? I'm like, okay, well, I need to sit and talk to the mic, but I also want to sit back. I got Dr. Pepper today, so I'm gonna take a sip. Um, and the first thing I feel is my body being like, hey, can we like stretch real quick? So I'm gonna stretch. A part of tuning in is listening to what your body and your soul needs, right? I have incense burning because I knew I was going to do this podcast. I was like, I want my room to smell good. Oh, I got good sleep, but yawns are really nice. Oh, as I'm like yawning and breathing, I'm feeling, and if you can see me on YouTube, you see how like my energy is already like, oh, like my nervous system feels like it's going down like a peg, a peg, a peg. Like I feel like I'm like settling into my chair. I'm moving my feet out. So my feet are touching the ground. Like, ooh, did you feel that? It's like, oh, oh. Whereas before, I feel like a lot of energy was like up here in my face. Now I feel it like in my chest. Oh, I'm gonna scoot up so that way you can still hear me well. I feel like more of my energy now is sitting in my stomach and in my hips. So if you are doing this with me side by side, how does getting like comfortable, what does your body need from you in this moment? Do that. So however you need to shift, adjust, and then just take like 10 seconds and be like, here. Like just feel into it, feel in the space and be like, how am I? Like, what's up? Like you can ask your body literally what's up. Some people get different people have different feelings about this. I feel like I can just be direct at this point with my body, be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? What are you feeling? Hey, energy, like, what's going on? So let's take a minute to, like, I'm going to give you 20, like 10 seconds of silence for you to tune in where it's not me speaking. So that way you can listen. Okay. If you need longer, you can pause it. when I tuned in just now, like, hi, what's here? I felt like fireworks almost shooting up my spine of like excitement for people who are trying this for the first time with me, right? I'm so proud of you for trying this. I also feel this mixture kind of churning in my stomach of like, hey, here's some things I need to do, like some upcoming things, like, oh, I'm behind on this, like, da da da. And it's like, okay, I see you, I see you. Um, my like throat chakra, like my throat feels really open. Um, I just signed a contract, just signed a really important contract like 20 minutes before this, and it feels like it's opening up a new level of some things that are coming, but also I feel inspired to record some podcasts today. So I just feel like my throat is open of like, what's possible? Like, let's call in the new. So just my throat feels open. My mind, like my crown chakra, I almost said head chakra, but my crown chakra feels just like effervescent is like a good, like it doesn't feel there. It just feels like open. And my third eye just feels like calm. Mm. My feet feel rooted, but they don't feel into the earth. So I'm going to take a moment. And so kind of scan through your body. As I said, those different things, what came up for you? How do those places feel for you? My hands feel tingly, which is usually, I kind of like ran my energy through my body, but we're not there yet for you. I'm going to walk you through it in a minute, but my body feels very tingly and like even is when I know that I'm rooted is when my body feels even. When I'm not like, oh, and I gotta go to it's like, I just feel like a really nice car, like like I just feel like this. And I feel sated, but I'm gonna take a moment and if you want to try this with me, go for it. Because remember how tuning in is about bringing awareness to our body and what's here. Sometimes people think I'm just going to tune in and get an answer and go. And like as you get better at that, you can do that. Like if I need to tune, I can do it in like 5 seconds. Like it's not a big deal. Sometimes it takes me longer, depending, but I can tune in, ask me a question, get an answer, kind of come back out. But in the beginning, it's like, what am I? How am I feeling? What's this? So that's why we're practicing naming the sensations. And your sensations might look different for you. Maybe you're like, it feels like there's a tight corset on my chest, or it feels like there's branches and thorns in my heart. It feels like a weighted blanket on my shoulders. So, whatever language you need to use that your body and your energy body is speaking to you, that is perfect. That is great. Go with that. Does that make sense? Okay. So, I like feeling connected to the earth. Some people would say it's like you're a Taurus or whatever, just the different stuff. But I'm like, hey, I just like that feeling of like I can like drop what I need energetically into the earth of like fertilizer almost is just like laying it. In this is kind of a side tangent, but I think it's all helpful. When I have my meditation spaces back in the day, when I originally had my soulscape before some things happened, that sounds ominous. It wasn't ominous. It just things change. Um, I had like a temple and Jesus was in there and next to this like big white oak tree. And I would like sit by the tree and just leave things there by the tree of just like, I just can't hold this anymore. Can I just leave this here? So now when I grow my roots, it feels like my roots are connected to that tree. Oh, I hadn't thought about that before, but that feels true. Um, so it feels like I'm dropping things in and it's like that tree. And now I have a whole ecosystem forest in my soulscape. But soulscape is the word I use for the meditative space I go to. I have different I have a side note. Maybe there's a podcast about that. But I have different layers. I can go and talk to different archetypes or guides that have shown up for me. And my soul, my love cup, just lots of different stuff. Um, and so soulscape is kind of my middle layer, my soul, as it were. The scape of my soul, if that makes sense. Like landscape, but soulscape. But growing my roots feels like a quick way to be like, do, 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 do. So I get rooted into the earth and feeling my pulse in my feet. So right now and I'm barefoot, I'm wearing socks. Like if you can, if your feet are on the ground, pull up your breath from your feet. Like just try that right now. If you're like, I can't breathe from my feet. I know. But imagine, imagine breath coming from the bottoms of your feet into your body. And like imagine your breath cycling through your body. If you're like, it's just in my lungs. That part, that's like logic. That's like, this isn't how that works. Imagine taking that part. That's like a little like 10-year-old that's trying to be like, but that's not how this works. Put them in front of a Disney movie, roll them in a little burrito blanket, give them snacks, just mentally imagine this character, whoever it is, that's like, oh wait, but like this is but now the way. Hi, hi. We're just gonna set you over here. We're gonna watch a movie. It's okay. Thank you so much. It's just a part trying to protect you and like make sure you're doing this right. There is no right. It's a practice. You got it. Okay. So if you can imagine pulling up your breath from your feet, because what this is it's bringing your awareness and your energy all the way down to the soles of your feet, and it's bringing it up through your body. So it's anything that's kind of stuck or stagnant. It's like a cheat sheet if you don't have your taproot yet to we talked about taproot in a earlier podcast, but I'll touch on it in a minute. Bring your energy all the way through your body, like that breath. Oh, and then do that like 3 times, like you're pulling up breath from your feet and you're letting it out through your mouth. And if you want to do like hard mode, you can kind of like imagine pulling it up through your feet and going out through your hands. And so, however you imagine your breath, like maybe it feels like light or just air, or maybe you can just like sense it, almost like you feel your like blood flowing through your body. Because now I'm like, I feel like a thrum is moving through my whole body. It might be different. Maybe you're like, AJ, I don't feel anything. It's okay. It's a practice. So I'm going to imagine roots coming from my feet into the ground because it's going to help me like ground a bit more, right? Because sometimes we're go, go, go during the day and we don't just like pause and breathe. So let's just take a moment. And I want you to imagine if your feet touching the ground, roots going into the earth, through the ground, through the carpet, spreading out, seeking out nourishment. Maybe they find like pipes or other roots or things, and maybe they interlock or go around, but just like 20 feet in any direction, or maybe 6 feet or 3 feet, however it feels good for you. Maybe you're like, I only have 2 foot roots. Oh my gosh, what a treat that you have roots. Good job, good job, good job. So grow your roots however it feels good and feel into that. What does that feel like? And if you're like, I can't, just sit with it, see what happens. Let's not judge ourselves when we're trying something for the first time. This is all getting new information, right? We're expanding our capacities. We're trying something new. So we're not even allowed to retrospective judge yet. So if you got Judge Judy and jury, and somebody does listening to this, otherwise I wouldn't be saying it. We just say, thank you so much for trying to be helpful right now. I appreciate it. I actually have this stack of other people's things or whatever situations in the past, or this book I just read and I have lots of feelings. Can you judge this for a bit instead of me? Thank you so much. We just say thank you and we just like move that to the side and just come back to center. Our judgments on ourselves, our shame, our like thoughts that come in, they don't have to mean anything. They really don't. We can just be like, oh, that's so cute. It's just a part trying to protect me and keep me safe. Thank you so much for your work. I don't need you right now. You can go back. Thank you. Okay. Feel into your roots. How did that feel? Okay. Now I want you to look back, see if there was anything in your body that felt like sludgy or icky or hard or stuck. What happens if you imagine yourself kind of like a tree in the fall, and that those things that were stuck kind of turned into fall leaves that are in like their red time, right? Like the leaves are like, they're crispy, they're ready to fall. And what happens if you give yourself a little shake and you just feel those things like just trickling off, landing on the ground, or like you're putting your energy to ground, like anything that doesn't like any sludge or anything. What if it's just going down through your roots and into the earth and fertilizing it? Try it. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds of quiet to try it out. Now, every time you tune in, you don't have to do all these things. I'm just giving you some different ideas of things you can try. Okay. So I know for me right now, I feel good. I feel very nice. I feel even. I feel quiet. It's just nice. Now, sometimes this is hard to achieve in silence. So I would encourage you to play music. I really like Any Other Name by Thomas Newman. I can't play it on the podcast because copyright things. But there's also like meditation music on YouTube and Spotify, like 10-hour playlists. There's like theta waves, delta waves. Everybody has something different that they like. So you can try that. Sometimes I'll listen to a song on loop and it'll help me like get into the zone and like tune in because sometimes we need something to focus on because if it's just quiet, there's extra chatter. And so music can give us a focus point. Some people like lighting a candle and looking at that. I feel like so much of my energy is my attention is focused inward on how is my body like, what is my body trying to tell me that I can't do any music with words. So it all has to be instrumental. Like I love beautiful chorus, and that's like mood lead up music, but I can't listen to it while I'm doing a meditation or doing anything sacred chatty wise. Does that make sense? Everybody's different. So, but that's what works for me. Okay, so now that we're in this place, how do you feel? What do you notice? Maybe part of you feels even and part of you still feels chatty. That's okay. That's what we call progress. We're getting more information. When we have part of us that feels even and part that feels like off or like this is still tight, doesn't mean anything. It's just information like, oh, okay, this is tight. This is the next level thing. We're not going to do it because this is 101. This is how to tune in. The next level is like you can have a conversation with that part that feels tight and be like, hey, what's going on? What do you want to tell me? Blah, blah, blah. But you have to have capacity for that and then bring in your big soul or yourself or a part that's helpful. This is the work I do with clients. So just in case something is like, hey, just you can put your hand on it and be like, hi, I see you. Right now, I'm focusing on tuning in, but like, I'll come back to you later. Or however you want to be like, I see you. I know, but right now I'm doing something else. Okay. So that's okay if someone's like, hey, because it's like, oh my God, they're listening. Because here's what happens once you start tuning in more, different parts of your body, soul, energy are going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm having an issue. By the way, this part's really stressful. By the way, I have this resentment over here. And you're like, I did not realize everything was so loud, except you did. Except you did know. You just didn't know. You knew here, but now you're getting this online. Do you ever feel like you're here up, like your neck up, but you're not in your body? It's because that energetic connection of like your body knows. Your energetic body knows. Okay, so we're here. We've like got the tune in vibes. We might feel grounded. And from this space, you might have already done a taproot where you made, here's what a taproot is. We're not going to do this, but I just want to give you the language of what it is. I've taken a memory that's good or when you felt aligned, true, open, or like sacred of like, yeah, this is the goodness. And then what that emotion and energy felt like in your body, and then got it in your body, and then you ran it through your whole body. So that way you have a quick access point to refeeling that. We're not diving into all that today because this is about tuning in, but that's what that is. So maybe you've done this work with me before and you have your taproot and you've got a name for it, like spirit, divine, light, essence, or joy, peace. Right now, we're at like what I like to call like your center point. Yeah, this is your center point. You've heard me talk about it before, where it's like that. You've had a big day, and it's like, okay, let me come to center. What's the next right thing to do? This isn't even like maybe spirit can meet you here. But we haven't even called anything yet. Do you see how like this is a baseline for everything? You being able to just get all your pieces together because maybe you've been running left, right, and sideways. You're just getting in one place and you're like, here I am. Hi, body. Like, what's up? Okay. Here I am. Yep, I see you. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. You want to run my hands through my hair? Okay, okay, okay. Here I am. We're here. Like I'm touching my face, my hair. That's what like that tuning in is like we're coming to center. Okay. From here, you can go even deeper and tune in and talk to spirit or call in wherever you'd like. You can just talk to your soul or yourself. You can get some like just clarity of like, do I want to do, all I can think of is residence. Do you want to build a snowman? But do I want to sign this contract? And maybe your body's like, no. So you see how if you're at the center point, that no feels really clear. Where if you're like before being like, oh, but like maybe this would be great. But if you're here at the center point, your body's like, no, oh, that's good information. No. Whereas if you're like, do I want to sign this contract? And your body's like, yeah, yeah, I do. And that's what I did right before this. Is I knew I was going to sign the contract anyways, but I was like, I just want to tune in and be really intentional as I sign it. It's like, tune in. I'm like, still good. And my body's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's just this neutral. There's no good, bad attachment. It's just, yes, no. Does that make sense? So from this point, you can get clarity on a next step, a thing you need to do, or you can just be here and let some things melt and just like rest. Like this is like a reboot central. If something's bothering you, you can also bring it to this space and be like, that really sucked. And then you can just be tender and gentle with yourself. And you're just like, yeah, that was hard. And here's here's something I'm going to struggle with these one-on-ones is there's so much more we could talk about or I could tell you. But if this is your first time doing this, this is where we end today because that is a lot of work if this is your first time ever tuning in. And if you're like, that was easy, I love this, right? Cool. If you're like, that was hard, yes, it is work. It is a practice. It took me a long time to be able to do that in a way that makes sense and is clear for me. Like I've always heard God, but getting my body online and understanding how to navigate and go took a while to get that language. So maybe it looks different for you, but now you have some ideas on how to do that and how to tune in so that you can be like, okay, I'm centered. Do I want to talk to spirit? Do I want to go to my taproot? Do I want to plan? But now when I'm like, hey, can you tune in real quick? Can you tune in? What's here? You can come here and be like, I'm really hurting. I'm really sad. Or, I'm tired, but I feel good. Do you see how even if something is wrong, there's no, it's not tainted. There's no story behind it. Here is just what is. It gets you your baseline, and that is tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's any other, like, I need to break down 101 of XYZ. Even if you're like, you did a podcast episode of it, but like, I need break it down more. You just let me know. I got you. Hands at your back. I'm so proud of you. Go sing your soul song, friends, and be tender and gentle with yourself. If this is your first time tuning in, here's my invitation for you. Or even if it's your second, or you're like, I've tuned in before, but this actually like, whoa, drink some water, eat some food. When we tune in, sometimes we hear more, or we're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, if you find yourself starting to spiral, be super gentle. You don't have to open like anything or like dive into things. If you're like, I have really strong feelings about, you go, oh, that's good information. Let me write that down. I'll circle back to that later. We do not have all of the time in the day to deal with everything right now. Even if everything feels pressing, you're going to overload your nervous system. Okay. Just tuning in was our job. You can always be like, thank you for letting me know. I will be back at a future date. I appreciate you. It'll wait. It has waited this far. It can wait some more. You are building up a tolerance and a capacity and an ability to speak to your body and soul in a way that allows you to move through the world together with yourself so you don't feel discombobulated and all over the place. So that even when the winds come, you can stand there and be like, I need to grab my wellies. Let me grab my rain boots. Versus like, oh my God, it's raining. What do we do? The energetic difference when you can come to center in a moment of panic or not, just day to day, Oh, game changing. If I could teach the world one thing, well, taproots would actually be it. But this ability to come to center, that would be, that's like number two. Okay. Sing your soul song. Have a marvelous day. If you have any questions, send me a message. Try to be friends.